Hello, welcome to Good News, the show where I'm going to just talk about good news that I found that I was interested in, because I was sick and tired of seeing the bad news. It's fucking hot. First, fungi gives us penicillin, and now it might give us King Tut's cure. A fungus known as I'm going to fuck up a lot of names, by the way. I'm going to put that out there. I said don't curse, dude. I was supposed to be serious. I wasn't supposed to be... I've read a whole fucking document, and then I hit the fucking recording button, and everything just washes over me again, dude. I was supposed to be serious, straight to the point. Now here we are. Now I've already started. I've already rambled. I've already done the rambling sesh. Okay, we're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna butcher a lot of names, a lot of like Egyptian names, medical names, and I'm not going to look them up how to pronounce them correctly. I'm just going to guess. If you expected a professional news show, I'm sorry. I am not Fox or CNN. I'm just a goober. Fungi gave us penicillin, and now it might have given us King Tut's cure. A fungus known as Aspergillus flaccus that was dubbed the mummy's curse has gone from curse to cure, as scientists have found in recent studies it possesses the ability to fight back against cancers, a big one of those ones being leukemia. Now, the fungus itself is able to lie dormant for centuries, and when disturbed can cause deadly respiratory infections, hence where the curse part comes from, as back in the day, early archaeologists in like the early 1900s and then later in the 1970s, who opened the tomb ended up dying soon after. I'm pretty sure the guy who first opened the tomb, he died, and then everyone was like, oh my god, spooky curse, don't go in that tomb. And then years later, they were like, okay, we're going to go back in the tomb, there's going to be 12 of us this time, and then 10 of those guys died, and then they found out later that there was just some sort of fungus in there. So, yeah, what good news is already starting with a lot of... I promise you, this... Shut up. Now, the researchers aren't giving people lung disease to cure them of their leukemia. At least, I hope not, because that would be extremely unethical. But in-lab testing found that a class of molecules within the fungus called aspergillosins that within the lab settings kill leukemia cells without damaging healthy tissue like broad-spectrum chemotherapy. The study's author, Sherry Gao, a chemical and biomolecular engineer professor, was quoted saying, "This is nature's irony at its finest. The same fungus once feared for bringing death may now save lives. The ancient world is still offering us tools for modern medicine. The tombs we feared for their curses..." I fucked it up again. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to leave that in. "The tombs were feared for their curses, but they may become a Why do I write so horribly? The tombs were feared for their curses, but they may become a wellspring of cures." Yeah, I fucked it up in the middle. Go screw yourself. Now, I know you're probably not curious at all about the actual science that goes into any of this. I know I sure wasn't. But I actually was. So I'm just going to steal the science explanation from the Live Science article that I was reading, because I don't really understand any of it, but they do, and it sounds kind of interesting. It has something cool to do with bees. So I'm just going to read that out verbatim. "The scientists examined the unique chemical compounds produced by the fungus and discovered a class of natural compounds called RIPS. These molecules are difficult to isolate and rarely seen in fungi, but they hold therapeutic promise due to their complex structures and bioactivity. This means they have intricate, unique shapes, kind of like snowflakes, that can... I added that, the snowflake part. Everything else is... anything that's not scientific jargon, they did the rest of it. This means they have intricate, unique shapes, kind of like snowflakes, that can interact with biological systems. To enhance the drug's effectiveness, the researchers attached lipid molecules similar to those found in royal jelly, the nutrient-rich substance that sustains queen bees. This helped the drugs enter cancer cells more effectively because lipids help drugs cross cellular membranes. Further analysis revealed how a gene called SLC46A3 acts as a kind of molecular gateway, helping the drug escape cellular compartments and target leukemia cells directly. This could aid in the delivery of other promising but hard-to-administer drugs in the future. Did I sound like I had a lisp there the entire time? Maybe, but I got through it. The not-so-dire wolves that they manufactured back to life are actually doing pretty well. Other than the odd names that make them sound like they were given to them by R.R. Martin, the two boys, Rhymeless and Remus, are now 6 months old and are making great progress along with their younger sister, Khaleesi, who they apparently haven't met yet, but they will be soon introduced to. I know, like I said, I know this is good news, but I just have to point something out that it's kind of, why have they not met each other yet? And if they do meet each other, are they going to make them mate and try to make them have baby? Because that, I don't like that. I know inbreeding is a thing in animals, but I don't think you should manufacture animals back to life, given the controversy that already happened, that I'm not going to talk about, and then make them inbreed. I don't like that part, but I like the wolf. The wolf thing is cool. That's why it's on here. I thought it was interesting. Speaking of wolves, I gotta go get mine. A tragedy almost struck on a Disney cruise line, but was luckily averted due to the quick actions of the rescue team. A girl had fallen overboard on the 4th deck, and she was followed soon after by her father, who jumped overboard to try to rescue her himself. Luckily, the crew was alerted immediately, sending a man overboard signal and getting to action ASAP, saving the father-daughter duo from the raging depths that have unfortunately taken so many others. That whole thing at the beginning where it was like, luckily, the tragedy was struck on a cruise liner, but it was magically reversed or magically like saved because like Disney magic and everything. But I didn't like but then the end was kind of morbid anyway. When I wrote this, it was supposed to be like a more serious shindig, dude. But now I've gone off in the rails and I've fucking started talking to myself again and doing whatever. Don't leave this in. Cut this out. Cut this out, please. The cruise thing isn't really like, I guess it's not really good news because they fell overboard. Again, it's so much, every one of these news stories can be construed as bad news, okay? It's hard to find good news. It's hard to track it down in like a short time span that I gave myself to do this, alright? It's hard because everything's so wrapped up with bad news and whatever. And it sucks, you know. It's garbage. Yeah, like they feel it, but they got saved. That's what I mean. They got saved. They did whatever, and it was fun. And it blew up all over TikTok. I'll show you some clips. I'll do whatever. This is only gonna happen in the first episode. None of this is ever gonna happen again, I promise. We're trying something new here at Blue Media. A couple days ago, 3,427 baby Mesoamerican sliders, or turtles for you plebeians, were going to be trafficked in Mexico. A couple of days ago, those turtles were saved. They were found along the I'm not saying that name highway, packed into cardboard boxes without a lot of wiggle room, might I add. The man responsible has been handed over to the public prosecutor's office, where he will face animal exploitation and illegal wildlife trafficking charges for endangering the Mesoamericans, which are currently under special protection. I don't know what that means, but it was highlighted and underlined in the article, so I'm pretty sure that special protection means that guy's probably not going to get a good trial. All the turtles have been taken to a registered environmental management unit where they are being cared for by professionals who are prioritizing returning them to their natural environment, where hopefully many hares will lose their race. Wait, that was a tortoise, wasn't it? Realistically, what's the difference? I actually have no idea. They both got the shell. They both do what? Does one of them live longer than the other? I gotta ask. Alright, well, following the theme that I've established for you here today already, that, you know, the good news has a bit of twinge of bad to it, like everything does. I know this is titled Good News, but for this one I'm going to have to start with a sad story. Because, however tragic something is, sometimes it can produce something good out of it. The young boy cries to his mother for him to buy him insulin for his diabetes. She responds to him by saying if she did, then they would have no money left to feed his siblings. The pain and feeling of being a burden on his family reaches a climax, and the child, at 10 years old, takes himself up to a roof and lights himself on fire. As he's dying, he says to his mother, "I did this so you can use the insulin money on my siblings." All of this now being heard by a nearby doctor, who rushed to the boy's side, covering him with a blanket, but unfortunately it was too late, and the boy died in his arms. That doctor's name was Mohammed Mashali, and he would later become known in Egypt as the Doctor of the Poor. I swore from that day forward I would dedicate my life to serving the poor. And for the next 50 years, he would keep his word. He'd give up luxuries, his fancy attire, his clothes.
يعني انا ماليش اكل معين لازم اكله، انا اي حاجه اقضيها بسندوتش طعميه او كده يعني ماليش. وفي نفس الوقت ما مش غاوي ملابس، وفي نفس الوقت زوجتي مبسوطه وغنيه
everything that he had. He didn't even have a car. This guy, he was just walking everywhere and taking the train and everything. But he did it all. Instead, he wore a doctor's coat all day, just a simple little lab coat, and he gave away free treatment to all poor people that needed it in Egypt. During the time he was running his clinics, he would stay up working 12 to 15-hour days, seeing the less fortunate. He would personally see up to 30 to 50 patients a day, traveling a train between all three of his different clinics that he had. Other physicians in Egypt were charging 40 Egyptian pounds, which I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, is about $1 in the US, but over there, obviously it's more than the standards are different. This was also back, I think, in 2020, so times have kind of changed a little bit. They would charge 40 Egyptian pounds per consultation. Dr. Mashali would only charge 10.
بطلع برا اشاعات بايه وتحليلات بايه والظروف على قدنا. ده على قدنا، على قد الناس الغلابه حقيقي يعني.
And that would typically range to like 20 cents in American dollars at the time. Even at that, most of the time he would entirely waive the fee if the person couldn't pay. Sometimes he would even go to the patient and he would pay for the medicine himself if they really needed it. Shali was brought up in poverty, and luckily he was able to put himself through schooling so he could work hard and gain the knowledge that he could come back to his community and serve it and help those who he felt attached to, those in his community that he knew the struggle for, those that he wanted to care for. And he became well known in his community too. I was watching interviews, people were saying that they were walking around, he would just say hi to him, whereas your other doctors wouldn't even talk to you, and they would just give you the side eye as you walked in the street like you just got done with them.
غير الناس التانية ممكن تلاقي راكب عربية ما يعرفكش مثلا او ما يسلمش او واخد بال حضرتك، لا ده ما شاء الله ممكن تكلمه في الشارع تسأله مثلا انا تعبان يقول لك كذا كذا.
But Mashali would sit there and wave to you and shake your hand and get to know you and talk to all of his patients. Dr. Mashai lived his life trying to make helping the poor his greatest accomplishment, and he did just that. And because of that, he not only became a hero in his community, he became a hero around the world. For all of those who hear the story, they talk about how great this man is and how there hasn't been men like him in many of years. And he's one of a kind, and I think he truly was. But sadly, he passed away in 2020. And he's no longer with us, which sucks because he gave so much help to so many people. Hopefully his contribution to society won't be unrecognized and will never be forgotten, and I hope that many other people will try to go down the same path that he did one day. Look at this fucking bird. You see this bird? Doesn't this bird look cool? I'm glad to tell you, the brown tree snakes did not get all of the Guam kingfishers. They're making a comeback, baby. Almost going extinct in the late 1980s due to an accidental snake outbreak, biologists managed to rescue 29 of the birds and then sent them out to a predator-free island known as Palmyra Atoll to hopefully let the birds repopulate, and in March 2025, they found one solid egg in a nest, the first wild kingfisher egg in over 40 years. Then, days later, they found 5 more. Now, I don't think they sent all 29 to the island. If you're going to look it up and just try to fact check me on that, they only sent, I think, 9 that they put in like a sanctuary and they trained them to like hunt and everything. It actually it's kind of cool. Like they put these birds in the thing and they like trained them to live in the wild, and then they sent them to live in the wild on this like predator-free island, and it's like so that they didn't die. And it's awesome. I don't know how the snakes got there in the first place to attack the birds, but it was more than just the kingfishers. But the kingfishers are the ones making a comeback right now. And let's all be happy because nature is amazing and birds are colorful and cool. And let's stop having the worst animal on the planet attack some of the best animals on the planet. News people aren't supposed to be biased. Uh-oh. Did you ever think pain would be useful in stopping you from getting sick? Well, researchers over there in the University of Nottingham over in the UK definitely did, as they have created a new antimicrobial paint that kills harmful microbes on contact, like the ones that cause the flu or COVID-19. Remember that one? They created the paint using a powerful disinfectant used by dentists called chlorhexidine that's typically used for treating mouth infections and pre-surgery cleaning. The researchers see very practical use for the paint in hospitals to help with hospital-acquired infections, but it's being looked further into for use in public transport and aerospace industries, or other places where there's a lot of like hand contact to walls, whatever. So it's like the pain is just supposed to stop, like, it's the spread of sickness. So if you put it in a lot of public areas, a lot of, people spreading diseases in public, unless they cough in your face now, if they cough on the wall and then you touch the wall, you can't get sick from it anymore. I think that's what I understood from it. But it's kind of cool. You just paint the wall and it just kills the things, and now it's sanitized. It's like it's cool. Just paint. It's awesome. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed whatever that was. It was supposed to be something that it wasn't, and then it became something, and then it was never. But that was good news. This is going to get hopefully progressively better, or if I even do this again. But I like this. This was fun for me. It took me a while to get those good news things, and I thought it was kind of cool. Like I said, I was getting sick and tired of seeing bad news all the time. I really went to go look up good news. I went on like good news subreddits and stuff, or looked it up on Twitter, and I went on Google, just looked up other things like what people were calling about good news, and it's really just like there were literally some people were like positively news. It was like, oh my god, this dude got hurt, and because of that, this other guy went up in the polls or something. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was kind of what it was, and I was just like, what? How is that good news? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? It was just really annoying me. Kind of like that car is annoying me right now. It was really annoying me, so I wanted to do good news. I wanted to do something good and just spread positivity, and I don't really know if I did that. But I just wanted to talk about good stories that I found that were kind of heartwarming that I just saw. I know there was kind of biased, just whatever I wanted to do. But yeah, that's what I'm explaining this too much. So it's supposed to start abruptly and end abruptly. As you're probably going to see it, it's going to get progressively more and more unhinged as it goes on. I didn't mean for that to happen. It was supposed to be serious. I was supposed to just be sitting there serious and just look at the camera and just be stoic and tell you the things that I found. But I didn't do that because I lacked the ability to be serious, I think. Even though I was serious. I'm explaining myself. But that was good news. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I hope, yeah. Thank you. I'm so hot. Bye bye.